Students, good morning. Today we will start our short question 2.4, and as I have explained it in my previous lecture, that you can answer many of the questions. So you have to note it down. Only those answers you have to write in your registers which don't have answers in the book. You only have to write only those answers in your notebook or in your register which don't have answers in the book, like 2.4 short question 2.4. Define the terms speed, velocity and acceleration. So you know all these three terms. You also know what is meant by speed, you also know what is meant by velocity, you also know what is meant by acceleration. We have studied it all, so need not to write in your register, just you have to learn it. Okay, now 2.5 short question number 2.5. Can a body moving at constant speed have acceleration? So this question you have to write, because this question, answer to this question is not in the book. It is the conceptual question. Is asking you, can a body moving at a constant speed have acceleration? How a body moving with constant acceleration have acceleration? There are two answers to this question. You can also say yes, you can also say no. But if you say yes, then you have to write down the reason. Or if you have to say no, then you also have to show the reason. You also have to state the reason. Suppose if I say yes, 2.5. If I say yes, then what reason I will write? Can a body moving at constant speed have acceleration? If I say yes, yes, a body can have acceleration when it moves with constant acceleration. You can quote it with an example, like a body which is moving in a circular path with uniform speed. Like when a body moves in a circular, like this, if somebody moves in a circular path, if a body moves circular path with uniform speed, with uniform speed, whenever somebody moves in a circular path with uniform speed, its velocity goes on changing, its speeds goes on changing. Its uniform speed is uniform, but direction of its velocity, direction of velocity goes on changing, goes on changing. You can also say its direction goes on changing, or the direction of its velocity goes on changing during the circular motion. So it is the case when the body may have constant acceleration. So this is the answer to 2.5 question. Can a body moving at a constant speed have acceleration? If you say yes, then you have to show this example. That's a body which is moving in a circular path with a uniform speed, its direction of its velocity goes on changing at every point. Like when it comes at this point, direction of its velocity goes on changing, its direction is towards the tangents. When it comes at this point, its direction is towards tangent. When it comes at this point, its direction is towards the tangents. So that's why direction goes on changing. Whenever the direction goes on changing, velocity changes, because velocity is related to direction. So that's why the body has uniform acceleration. Or if you say no, I have told you, you can write both answers. If you say yes, then you have to explain this reason. If you say no, then what is the case when there is no acceleration? You know, when a body moves, like in a speed time graph, it is the velocity, it is the time, origin, constant speed. When the body is moving at constant speed, look at, can you make a slope here? No, because whatever the line parallel to time axis, we can't find the slope. You can't find the slope. When you can't find the slope, when there's no slope, there's no acceleration. So this is also second reason. So I think you have to write only one reason, either yes or no. So I think the concept is clear to you. Okay, now 2.7. Sketch a distance time graph for a body starting from rest. So clearly you have to sketch a graph like this. The graph should be speed time graph. No, sorry, 2.6 question. First 2.6. 2.6. 2.6 is saying, how do riders in a Ferris wheel possesses translatory motion but not rotatory motion? So note down the difference between translatory motion and rotatory motion. How I have explained to you the difference. In the Ferris wheel, the riders move in a circular path. When they move in a circular path, so they possesses the translatory motion. They don't spin about their own axis. So that's why the riders in a Ferris wheel possesses translatory motion. So you only have to write that the riders in a Ferris wheel move in a circular path. They don't spin on their own axis. So that's why they have only the translatory motion, not the rotatory motion. So this thing you also have to write. So it means this answer you also have to write in your register. Okay, next 2.7, which I was explained to earlier. In 2.7, he is asking to you sketch a distance time graph for a body. Distance time graph. So here you will represent distance in meter and his time in seconds. Distance time graph for a body starting from rest. So clearly, if we are starting from rest, the graph will be a straight line like that. Starting from rest, how will you determine the speed of a body from this graph? Clearly, I have told you, if you want to find the speed from distance time graph, find the slope. Whenever you have to find a slope, you have to do a triangle. Suppose I have this point A, this point B. So how will you find the slope? Slope is equals to speed. Slope in the distance time graph always give you the speed. So how will you find the slope? AB over OB. AB over OB. AB rise, OB fall. I think you know how to find a slope. Perpendicular distance over horizontal distance. So this is the slope, AB over OB. If suppose you have some value here, if suppose you have here 20 meter and here time is 2 seconds, then you also write in mathematical form 20 over 2. So it means 10 meter per second. So in this way you can find the speed of the body in a distance time graph. So you have to draw this graph and you have to explain briefly this thing. Okay, now next question 2.8. What would be the shape of a speed time graph of a body moving with variable speed? So this answer I have already explained to you. You know, the body which moves with a variable speed, the graph is not a straight line. The graph may be a zigzag path, the graph may be a curve. So you also have to draw the graph of that. I think I need not to draw, but you know how to draw that graph. You already have practiced this. Next 2.9. Which of the following can be obtained from speed time graph of a body? He has given you initial speed, final speed, distance covered in time t, and acceleration of motion. So note down all four qualities, all four physical quantities you can find from this graph. Like he is saying, suppose you have, which graph he is asking to you? Speed time graph. Here you will take speed in meter per second and time in axis. So clearly you can start with body can start his initial velocity. So initial velocity can be taken here and then final velocity like that. Initial, final velocity here, and other thing, distance covered in the time t. You can also find distance. How you can find a distance from speed time graph? By finding the area under the graph. So it means third option is also right. And fourthly, he is asking you acceleration of motion. So acceleration can be found by finding the slope in a speed time graph. You know this thing. So it means all four physical quantities can be found from speed time graph. So this would be your answer. Okay, now 2.10. How can vector quantities be represented graphically? So this answer I have already explained to you in my lecture. So I will not explain to you, you know this. Okay, now 2.11. In 2.11 he is saying, why vector quantities cannot be added and subtracted like scalar quantities? So the answer to this question is also very easy. Clearly, you know, scalar quantities can be added like in algebraic multiplication or algebraic addition. Like 2 kilometer can be added in 3 kilometer. Scalar can be added like algebraic methods. But vectors cannot be added like that. vector quantities need direction and magnitude as well. So vector quantities can be added by using head to tail rule of vector addition, because vector quantity needs direction. So that's why vector quantities cannot be added like scalars, because vector quantities needs direction as well. Okay, so I think the answer must be clear to you now of 2.11. Now we move to 2.12. How are vector